Destiny in the face at the 150. Animo takes the lead from Zaki. Alligator Blood. I'm thunderstruck, but it's Animo clear. I'm thunderstruck late. Animo holding on. Animo this time for the big A.
Welcome to Bet Doctor, behind the curtain look at how pro punters operate. I'm your host, Scoot. I've got Johnny Walter in studio. We're up at the goalie here. We're absolutely roasting. Summer's here.
Cheap as creep, isn't it? So I don't like going outside, but oh my God, I've had to turn the aircon on the last few days, which I haven't wanted to do either. Crikey.
Sticky for someone that doesn't wear undies.
Oh, well, I have, and that's right. And I only had 2 showers this week too, so like it's not ideal. Don't know if DK free balls, but I'm tipping he'd need something down there. A little bit chilly down in Melbourne. How are you, DK?
A little bit chilly, but this rain, I'm just looking at the app on the phone here, and it's we've got rain every day till Friday tomorrow week. So that's what we're putting up with down here. Every meeting, except Bendigo Cup Day yesterday, they got through, but Monday got transferred, Tuesday got transferred, today's been transferred, tomorrow's transferred. And disaster of all disasters, Mortlake and Witchy-proof are off on Saturday. 2 of my joints to look forward to, once a year joints.
Witchy-proof.
Anyway, but the upside is I don't have to put up with any of this worshipping of Animo. I'll get a week off that garbage this week. So
Animo?
That's the upside.
I cop some abuse there. I tell you what, people don't read tweets very often, do they, before they reply? They just sort of dive in and like they don't really read.
That's the first trick. Always reread it and go back before you press send. Reread it. Do I really want to send this? Or just punch it out in...
Even what they're replying to as well. Like they don't actually read...
What they write.
Yeah, they read what they write, but they don't read what the person wrote. That they just sort of tend to go off. But that's all right. That's Twitter. That's what it's for.
They just blurt it out as fast as they can.
Just spill
Better man than me putting it out there.
I gave Juppy a little bit of a clip on Twitter the other day. Or not really Juppy himself, but I said the Bendigo Cup was pretty lacklustre. It was about a 6-horse field. It was on a bottomless track. It was a pretty average race, I would have thought. And now that he's, I guess, a licensed operator, or he's got his own joint, I tell you what, he's straight into the Kool-Aid. He just absolutely loves it. So he's got on the that's defended. Just put up the ball.
Yeah, but that's his black shorts. You'd think of that. That's home ground. That's Bendigo's. He's a Bendigonian and nearly the number one Bendigonian out there in social media land now. So, we haven't got to TrackScran yet, but say that there might have been, he did the old Palmer review, which everywhere he goes, he does a Palmer review, but there might have been, the blinkers might have been on last night. I think his mates might be owning that Golden Square Hotel, whatever. So, there wasn't a caveat put in there, and it got a rave review. So, don't know about that, Juppy. Careful.
The number one Bendigonian racing Twitter personality. I'll tell you what, that's up there. That's up there. Who gives you that? Dan Andrews? Does he present that?
Oh, I don't know.
Yeah, I think he should.
I don't even know who that is anymore. I tell you what, someone who's pulled up lame, we'll have to get the vet to run the rule over him. He can't even make his way in the studio. Nico Noonan, what's happening here?
Durston Noonan.
I wouldn't pass the CT scan at the moment. That's to be sure. Yep. Bung knee, I'm even a bit fluey as well. So not an ideal prep to Cup week, but we're battling through.
Geez, you sound worse than Walt, which is saying something. Tell you what, it's been a big week for I don't know. What do you say? Little stuff ups, or just the administrators just seem to be dropping the ball or losing the ball. In this case, we'll go to Victoria. We'll go in our backyard or my old backyard or DK's. And the Empire Rose Marblegate, they're one short on the live draw.
Lucky number 14.
Crazy, isn't it? That could possibly happen, but not all of them are blessed with lots of ability, these people in racing administration. But I even noticed that the box was clear, so you actually see into the box as well. But it's absolute madness. I don't know how that had happened. DK, you got any thoughts over the Empire Rose Marblegate?
Thoughts on barrier draws overall like that, and there should be probably 3 of them for the Caulfield Cup, Melbourne Cup and Cox Plate, and that's it. When the Flemington VR said, we want barrier draws, live barrier draws for the 4 Group 1s. I mean, they're boring as batshit. That's one thing. Yes, there was whatever happened, a wrong thing there, but I think the right thing happened. Jamie Steer had to think about it, pulled rank and said, hang on. We need a proper electronic redraw. Just to make it completely fair. I mean, I know he's going to disadvantage some and disadvantage others, but I think when he got hold of it and said, hang on, no, let's just stop this whole thing and do another redraw. So I think the right thing happened in the end, but please, just less on the barrier draws, please.
Well, I think the only barrier draws that seem to matter there's those pokey fields like the Cox Plate. I don't want to keep bringing up Animo, but the barrier draw and the map position basically won him the race, and I guess the lack of intent from every other rider. So barrier draws, by and large, don't matter. But I guess if there's wet tracks or bias or there's,
you just don't want any integrity issue. Do like it should be another one of the. I seen someone just at the national body. It should be someone independent. It's not very hard to run barrier draws. Someone who just writes a program and it's all tightened up. No one can touch it. It should be an independent integrity issue only.
Maybe ankle breakers need to do it. That's why we did the draw with ankle breakers.
Imagine that. Yeah, you sit there with the...
The last thing we need is a cloud over Little Birdie. We're squeaky clean here. I'll tell you what, the biggest controversy, believe it or not, some people missed it. I don't know how you could miss it. It was plastered all over the papers, all over Twitter. Adam Pengelly and Chris Roots joined up to do a bit of a story. I think we've got a graphic up on screen now, and it was in the Sydney Morning Herald. And this is something that's unprecedented to my knowledge. The Golden Eagle's a pretty new race, but from day dot, it's been 18 in the field plus 4 emergencies. And then 5 days before the race, all of a sudden we've bumped the field to 20 plus 4 emergencies. Now, that is beyond belief for mine. And I really struggle to understand it. I assume that field sizes are capped for a couple of different reasons. One would be, I guess, safety, and that'd be the biggest thing. Certain starts are dangerous if you have too many runners. And then I guess in the Melbourne Cup circumstance, I think you're only allowed 24 because the TAB are working on a 1930s Commodore computer to run their betting platform. So, Walt, this is, I guess, your backyard, so you can lead off with this, but it's extraordinary that they've extended the field. And obviously there was a lot of uproar. Well, there's not a lot of uproar, but there was a lot of punters invested heavily on the early odds for I Wish I Win in, I think it was the Toorak handicap. And if the MRC had have extended that field by 2 runners, I think it would have got a start, I Wish I Win, which would have made all the punters happy. But from an integrity point of view and fairness to the trainers, the owners, connections, and everyone else that had bet on the race, they made the right decision and didn't extend the field. No, I can't recall a time in my lifetime that this has happened. What's the go here?
Yeah, it's tough, right? So interim benchmarks are very common. So this horse hasn't had a run in Australia. Interim benchmark, very common. So apparently they've finalised its benchmark. I think went up 2 or 3 points or something.
Yep.
So that's not uncommon. But this is a big race, with a ballot order that everyone's keeping an eye on. Obviously, very difficult to work out exactly where you're going to fall come acceptance time, but everyone keeps a close eye on it, especially in the lead-up weeks where they're going to have another run, try and push their benchmark, things like that. So you would imagine that it's in everyone's best interest that as soon as a horse is nominated for a race like this, if it has an interim benchmark, that benchmark's finalised, well and truly leading up to the race. So I'm not saying that anything untoward there because it's not uncommon, but it's a bit of an average way to play it. The extension of the field is just completely inexplicable. Never heard of or seen anything like it. The tinkering with benchmarks has happened many times. I think Ice Bath was at the raw end of it once before. They do have the whatever they want to call it, the power to adjust benchmarks in order to elevate a horse into the field if they feel like. In a number of, it's happened quite a few times I'm aware of, but the extension of the field, from a betting point of view, does it matter? Not really. Does it make the race better? Probably. I don't know what it does, but if you're an owner or a trainer of a horse that was in similar circumstances before, or you've been sort of let down here, you're entitled to be sort of miffed, aren't you? I don't know, but it's just racing's all about consistency, isn't it? And everyone believing they're getting a fair go, and that's why people are a bit upset here. And like Beggy went off his chops and he's jumped into the field, but I think Tracy Bartley's the one on the raw end of it now. It's tough. It's not good, is it? It doesn't feel wholesome.
It seems like the race has changed, or definitely has changed, because all of a sudden there's 20 runners in the field. I thought all bets should be off. And the other little grey area for mine is, that Racing New South Wales carry on about integrity and they're quick quick to just pick off some participants and put them in the naughty corner over some discretions. And you've got this horse has been hundreds into $15. So for that alone, they should open up an investigation and then go and tell us that it's all squeaky clean.
Well, I think even in that article, it mentions that they're going to make no further comment on it or something like that.
Yeah, well, that raises a red flag for me.
It does because, okay, you got a number of things that don't look great. So the changing of the benchmark, explainable, right? Absolutely. Yep. So why not come out and explain it? The extension of the field will come out and explain why you've done that. Frankie Dettori being on the front page of the paper 15 minutes after it was announced and already coming and all that around
Disgusting.
It just all adds up, and then obviously the betting moves and everything. So now you've upset the owners of horses, you've upset trainers,
punters.
You've upset punters because there's a big betting move in the dark when a horse was, looked like he was a 50-1 chance to make the field. And there's a betting move for him, and now he's well backed. And then you get a press release from the trainer saying, not only is the horse now in the field, we're happy to put Dettori on, but we believe he's over the odds. So now he's 100s into 15s, and the stable believes the 15s is value, and they're not ones to go out and say things like that. So this horse is, it's all just leaves a bad taste of pretty much everyone. So you'd think they would jump at the opportunity to address it.
DK, you've been in the game for a very long time. What do you think of this pub test?
Well, I'll get to the bit that doesn't pass the pub test with me in a sec. But as Walt said, interim handicaps or interim benchmarks with an asterisk are commonplace. But what I heard it, so a journo got to Valandi and said, "Put some clarity on this, can you?" And he said, he's text back and said, so he had the interim benchmark at 92 or something. Victorian had it at 95, so we reassessed it, pushed it up to 95. We're just coming in line with Victorian's handicapping. The journo then went and rang the Victorian handicapping department, they've said, what about this? And said, we have no data on this horse. We've got nothing. That doesn't correlate with anything we've got here, unless the only explanation would be if their handicapping department had rang previous Greg Carpenter and did a verbal something about it, and he hasn't told us or left any record of anything at all. So there's this, we're just trying to tie it into Victorian stuff, and the current Victorian handicappers, Matty Welsh, whoever's in there now, said, what are you talking about? So anyway, that was what I found. Didn't really pass the pub test with me, but typical trying to make up a story to get it in line by the sound of it to me.
That is bizarre. That's the first time I've heard of it. We haven't spoken about that off air at all. But
no, I heard it on the way in.
That's got the biggest whiff about it as well.
Well, it does, and also the story, breaking the story, the way it was all planned by the looks of it. The story was, I'm saying, as in the way it was released to the media and everything. Once again, favours taking the media away from the Victorian meetings and pushing it to New South Wales. So it's it had there was a lot of edge to how this would benefit racing in New South Wales, I guess, to it. So
it's very weird because it's unlike Racing New South Wales to consult Victoria or ask them about anything. They just bullet a gate and do whatever they like, and that's what it sounds like they've done here. And it was an interesting one yesterday. I did notice that Richie Callender was out there to put a bit of mud on the Victorians for the Empire Rose barrier draw, and we retorted back and said that we agreed that was pretty sloppily handed. And I asked them, I said, furthermore, do you think all bets on the Golden Eagle prior to the field expansion should be cancelled? And I thought that was a fair question. He didn't really give me a response there. And then I said, Wellwell's been hundreds into $16 or $17. Should that be the basis of an inquiry? He really couldn't give me an answer there, and he said it was got nothing to do with him. And I thought he was the CEO of the New South Wales Trainers Association, and then somehow in his backyard, there's a massive cloud over this one, and he's got no idea about it. Conveniently, like the onslaught from the tweet that I sent out is unbelievable, and it's still going now. So I didn't expect to pile on, but I tell you what, there's a lot of people with their nose out of joint with this one, and what I've just heard from DK's bamboozling, and like it seems like he's overserviced PVL or whoever it was that made up this story about they've
let it snowball. That's the problem. Just by not attacking it head on, they have press conferences for everything, lotto balls and odds and evens and whatever, like something like this. Just expect, you just know what's going to come. You've extended a field from 18 to 20. controversial, whatever it is, doesn't matter if it's completely innocent, no problem. Just come out and talk about why it's happened, and at least everyone, at least knows where they sit, and they can have a solid opinion either way. This way, everyone just doesn't really know what's happened. We just do what we want. Is kind of the answer.
It's so North Korean racing. It is.
It's classic. It's classic. Like we had, the It's a Done Deal rail movement was about 5 years ago. But the irony of this situation is, if they had left it at probably 18 and then emergencies, this runner, if they've bumped it up normally, the rating, it probably sneaks into the field regardless. So
it does,
they've just made a bird of it to get in the field.
Well, you can't do the whole Frankie Dettori angle and everything. That's the thing. That's what I'm saying. Like for them to sort of have their Monday article or Sunday, whatever the day it was that came out, and hammer the press with it, it had to be in the field. They had to know it was going to run. So yeah, I don't know.
Well, I'm not sure if I'm cheering it or death riding it. I'm not sure yet, but maybe it's irrelevant.
Becky, Cardinal Gem, aren't we all in the Cardinal Gem?
I don't know. I thought light infantry's across the line.
Mate, Jamie Spencer, 20-horse field around Rosehill. He will not know where he is. Like, he's normally in these 5-horse jiggy jogs everywhere. Good luck getting around Rosehill from in gate 20, this thing. My God. Why would you put an international jockey on this horse?
Nico, it was one of our lays in our Beat the Doctor promotions. I don't want to talk about it for too long. One-word answer, will Animo win at the next clash at 2,000 metres at Flemington if he lines up on Champions Day, whatever that is?
Yeah, I think he'll win. I thought what we saw there on Saturday was just proof of the best horse in the race. Yeah, I'm thunderstruck didn't have a lot of luck in behind him, but I don't know. I think Animo, there's never really been a horse I don't think there ever has been a horse that's run down Animo once he's hit the front. He sort of just holds him off. So, I think the champion label's probably deserved after Saturday, given his body of work so far over the course of his career.
Nico does have a picture on his dunny door, so little asterisks around there.
I don't think anyone's arguing that the best horse didn't win.
Yeah, he's a very good horse.
He just had the best run and whatever. I just said the people that come out and said 90 out of 100, you run it 100 times, it wins 98. It didn't matter what barrier it drew, it would have won. I think they just need to settle down a little bit because, but I'm not in any way saying the best horse didn't win.
That's right. That's my thing. Like they doubled down on it after the race. Like if that's me, if I'm Kingsley and I'm having, what do you say? He had 60,000 on it. Right? Complete moral, just 60,000 on it, just complete moral. So I got a complete moral at 6-4, has every possible chance, gets thrown over the line, and 2 horses given it wind burn 20 metres past the post. I'll say I'll cop the win, but after that race, I'm going looking, what did I miss? What did I miss? Because it was no moral. It's fallen in of having every possible chance at 250. What did I miss? But everyone doubled down. Oh, no, it wouldn't have mattered what run it had, wouldn't have mattered what barrier it drew, would have won. Like, please, like you cop the win. But if you're going to review that properly, say, what did I miss? Why those horses get so close to him? I thought it'd win by 2 lengths.
Even everything, like anchor drop, everything. Nothing came after him. He got the back of Tim and, the right. It was just, like it.
No, Ollie stood in the gut. Ollie El Bogadon's supposed to be in the spot where the winner was. He missed the start. And Thunderstruck's held up from the 400 to the 200. Jamie Spencer's in behind him on Gold Trip. Like, it had 3 hard luck stories behind it as well.
Looked like a police escort. It was like one of those presidential parades going into the office, the public office.
Oh, it was another one of those. It was a great race. But so I think, so like you say, if you loaded at 6-4, you thought it was a moral, you just take it and run.
Gold Trip or Young Werther, any chance in the Melbourne Cup?
No.
Okay.
Find out Sunday.
No.
I couldn't totally discount Gold Trip. I've thought that was the race for him all along.
Oh, I think the Caulfield Cup, we ran well and and then he was suited in that race on Saturday because of the conditions and all the horses to me I'd think are milers, but 2 miles, Jesus, far out.
Nico, Young Werther or Gold Trip in a Melbourne Cup, yes or no?
Yeah, I think both of them are probably live chances. I think Gold Trip's just showing here in Australia's last 2 that he's probably, a borderline weight for age horse, which I think is going to mean a lot in this Melbourne Cup, given there's probably a bit of a lack of quality from our own sort of mob. So if he can run the trip, I would imagine he's probably in the finish. That's probably the big question mark with him, though.
That's what I'm most worried about. I think 24 back to 2 suited him on a softish track. I think, stretching to 2 miles.
Be interesting to see if there's any petrol left in the tank. But, I couldn't quite put the line through him yet myself. Cup Week Punters Club. I think there's about 10K in the early bank, which is good news. Donnie and Scooty going to steer the show. Once upon a time in Flemington, Rolling Punters Club. So that's going to be a beauty. Derby Day, Cup, Oaks, and Stakes Day. We're just going to keep it live and rolling. So we're going to have to be really patient on this one. Triple the patience. So there'll be only a few bets each day, and we can just snipe some early odds. So once we get rolling, if we have a fat day on Derby Day, Tristan won't see which way we've gone. So really excited for that one. And by the time this show goes to air, I'm telling you, we would have pulled the trigger on a couple of bets or some multi-madness just to get a couple of big results rolling. So make sure you join in before 10 a.m. on Saturday. It's going to be a beauty. Hopefully the dry tracks start. Well, I don't think the weather's going to be too bad. Especially at Flemington. I think maybe soft 5s and 6s, great draining track, and there's not a massive rain band. I can't say the same for DK's out wide joints. Hopefully we can get some action there, and hopefully the weather is a bit kinder in the country. So make sure you're all over our Cup Week Punters Club. It's going to be a beauty, all via the Little Birdie app, the betting app. And you can be on track there, and you can just fire in at your bookie as soon as the notifications come in, quick as a flash.
Just run me through this. You're not turning the bank over 100% every day, you weak dog. You've got us in there under pressure, under the lights, trying to blow my head off every day. And we'll have 1 or 2 bets today, little multi-fillers. Get it, have a crack.
We will.
Show some balls.
We made 4 days of it.
So what? That's 400%. Let's go.
There's no rules. That's why we can start betting early. We don't have to all start off the same mark. Me and Donnie can just go bang, bang. There we go. Christ. So it's no holds barred.
Are you doing it from the car, like the picture? You're just going to sit in the car together and drive
pump action shotgun.
Like the old Triple M days where you drive around with the headgear on, and that'd be good. Yeah,
just get it. We've just got to get off to a flyer early, and away we go. So it should be. It should just open up nicely. But I think the weather's going to be kind to us, so it'll be great. TrackScran, tell you what, couple of beauties this week. Northern Cup Day, roast roll. I tell you what, this one, $8. I love these 2 pictures. So you've got it with the golden light. So it's a roast beef roll. That's how it looks in the Bain Marie in the window. They got the light on it. And then when you pull it out, have a look at that.
That looks like meat.
It's a pasty roll, pasty dry roll. That's you.
Yeah.
That is you. That's the Walt beef roll at Northern.
I got the fake tan on the left. That's unbelievable.
$8 is good value. I'd cop that. DK, you'd probably have a heap of those.
Needs a bit of coleslaw, and you'd want them made. You'd want them getting the roll in front of you and putting it out rather than stacking 20 on top and pulling one out of that pile. But yeah, that's up my alley. The roast rolls with gravy, they're always hard to beat.
It might get a little bit sweet.
Lamb, I used to love the lamb roll with potato bake. That was my go.
I'll tell you what, the winner for TrackScran this week, the seafood basket of the Gold Coast members. I've sent this one in.
That's not for human consumption.
I had a family day out. It's a beauty.
The five deep fried food groups are very well represented there, Scoot.
Oh,
well, it had the crab stick, which is the dimmy of the sea. It had some calamari, had scallops. It had a bit of fish. I'm not sure. I can't remember what it was. The chips were great. The salad's brilliant.
I think I asked him. I said, "Is that salad there just in case you go into coronary attack? You have the salad. You whack the vinegar on it, and it brings you back to life. Is that what it is?"
Well, tell you what, I was under a fair bit of pressure. If I was going to have a heart attack, it would have been Saturday. It was absolutely torrential rain outside, so I was stuck indoors.
I saw that.
Couldn't put the kids out on the lawn. So I took 8, 10-year-old, and then Piper's 15 months. And I was just...
She was owning the joint, mate. She was owning
Met an old girl, Margaret, who used to pull rorts for a couple of famous Gold Coast identities. Used to race horses with Alan Bailey back in the day.
Oh, hey, Bailey.
Yeah, so she shared a table with us. So it was a very educational day out there at Gold Coast. But
the green diamond or something. Yeah, Bailey, he was a good trainer.
Need to get DK. DK, you come back up for Magic Millions time? Get you up here. Work junket.
Possibly. The cruise leaves on the 20th. When's the Magic Millions? The week before? 13th or
14th. But if you could come up early on about the 7th and then stay for the week and then just bolt straight after without seeing Walt. Anyway.
Go and enjoy Hulk juice with Walt, Maduri and lemonade.
We lost Mickey Mayer up here this week when I was.
Yeah, did lose it. Yeah, where was he? Great man.
I used to manage Tegan there for a while or whatever, and got to know him, and he was like really crook. So obviously we've both got pretty warped sense of humour. So for some reason I was the one he'd call when he was sort of doing chemo and stuff sometimes. So I'd be sitting there talking to him for an hour and a half. Oh my God, the warped sense of humour on this guy. Some of the stuff he came out with, the stories from like back in the day in Sydney when he was riding and then training and Jack Denham and he's the sort of guy, 2 hours would disappear just talking to him.
I love that stuff.
Yeah, exactly. So no, he fought it very hard for a long time and unfortunately lost his battle, but another character gone.
It was red hot.
What do you make? Malt mid-70s or something? How old was he?
I would say so. Yeah, I would say so. Yeah.
Good trainer at Sunny Coast. When the money was on, he didn't really miss much.
Yep.
From my memory. All right, Manscaped, 20% off using code Little Birdie. So if you want to short back and sides and keep the rig ready for action, make sure you head to manscaped.com and type in Little Birdie for your 20% off. Christmas around the corner, great gift. Today's show is going to be a beauty. As Don is good. Donnie, beautiful last week, got the cash. He had Proper Rogue and then Tappy's one. That was off the map, 12 into $4, a few scratchings, but he collected on both bets. He was beautiful. And nothing for you. Walt last week, off the show, Primido, and another camel. Back to the dry track, so no excuses. Go?
Oh my god,
terrible.
Is that it?
Hey?
I don't even remember last one. I was thinking of Sunny Creek, but that was a week before it got beat as well anyway.
Yeah. So if you followed the TopSport Steamer, second none got the chocolates at Adelaide, and I was surprised the price held. I think you got $4.40 if you were patient there. I think they were also on Ashford Street, which was off the map. That was absolutely sick. Just didn't get a look at them. And I think they were, there was a bit of money for Mo'unga. I was surprised. Mo'unga actually ran a pretty good race.
It was a good late, Mo'unga. I think, wasn't it flashing down the outside late?
Flemington's going to suit it.
I'm still looking for the 1,000 I thought I had on elliptical at $6 the place in the Spring Champion. If anyone finds it anywhere too, just let me know because I've been unable to locate it.
That's the worst thing with the trying to get on. You just forget about bets, forget about cash.
I remember thinking this thing $6 a play should be $6 a win. Make sure you get on that first before it tumbles. No idea what I did with it or whether I had it or what.
One of the 80 accounts you've got, there's 80 bookies or something.
The funny thing, I don't anymore. Like, it's just crazy. And there's only a couple you can get on. So, and I'm like, went straight to them. And I'm like, what? Huh? And the sick part was, probably play the race differently, but my bad.
That's a story for another day, Walt. The place market, when can we discuss that? Place market 2022, 2023 style. My God.
400% the place.
We'll keep it positive, keep it moving. We got sausage rolled, beat the doctor last week. Big Blue Army just crushed us. We had Animo top 2 finish and Golden Mile. They both I'm going to say they both fell in.
They blew in the market. I'm trying to find a positive for you. You said stay positive. Huh? They're both soft in the market from minusculely.
Even though they were never in doubt in the run to go top 2, I thought at certain stages we were going to get one of them beat.
Golden Mile was aggressive because there was nothing in the race really, but Animo, whatever.
Tell you what, heaps of clients piled on for that one and got Tristan's money. So we'll come up with a new one this week. I'm maybe thinking press again Godolphin and maybe go in secret, try and lay her.
Why not?
Just take it
absolutely on. Perfectly drawn, 1,400 back to 12. Yeah, just take it.
There's some good horses to beat in that race too.
Absolutely.
How do you? Yeah, well, you'll get to that, I'm sure, but it's all about how the track plays, probably, isn't it? Like where they come.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see what happens. The straight's going to be an absolute beauty, despite New South Wales tactics to try and disturb or ruin Derby Day. It's absolutely jam packed. I can't wait for Nico to go through a couple of these races. He's pin up horse on the Cox Plate, so he's absolutely on fire except for his bill of health. Make sure you check out TopSport this weekend. 5K on all the Group 1s, so there's plenty of action there. You can win an absolute monster off them, and they're Australian owned, so make sure you support TopSport. They take all our bets for the syndicate, so they don't mind having a bit of a swing or letting you have one as well. So very aggressive, Tristan. He is absolutely fearless. Derby Day, Nico Noonan's mail, $122 till the end of December. And so that's insights 3 to 5 minutes before the jump. You get them all on Telegram, so make sure you jump in a Little Birdie shop and get that. He'll be on fire, no doubt. And the Coolmore Stud Stakes, as DK just spoke about, deep field this one, and it's going to be an absolute cracker. Let's sink our teeth into this one first, Nico. And the favourite here is the horse that I want to get stuck into, sink the boots into this. It's been off the scene since the Golden Rose, and it's coming up against Jacquino, who was superb in the Everest. In Secret 370 at TopSport, $5. Jacquino, bonus not just Waltzall, $7.50. Call and get a $750 grand, Impact $950, Economics $12, Best of Bordeaux $16, Sajardin $20, 21 Lofty Strike, and I'm not going to bother about the rest. Let's start zipping through a couple of replays here. In Secret's the first one, and Jacquino's in this race as well. It's the Golden Rose. She didn't have a great run in transit, Nico, but Jacquino still mows her down, and I look at the market and I know who I'd rather be on.
Yeah, I think key to this replay is it's 1,400, so Jacquino had that extra 200 metres to sort of run her down, but I think down the straight, his advantage is definitely going to be that straight line speed. Once he sort of balances up there and motors to the line, he's really good. He sort of doesn't corner that well, which was probably the worst part of his run here. So you think down the straight he's going to be super suited. He's drawn wide. He's probably going to get to maybe some of the better lanes of the track. He's going to have to run down In Secret, which is probably going to be, the horse he's going to beat. I kind of thought there was probably only 2 chances in the race. If In Secret sort of gets everything go away and Jacquinot's a bit held up or those kind of things, she'll probably beat him. But if he gets things go his way, which he probably can from barrier number 16, given it's not too sort of late in the carnival, I doubt they're getting right towards the outside fence here every run in the race. So he should find some sort of clear air. I would have thought Jacquinot's probably the value at sort of $5.55.
She jumped out or anything?
Let's have a look at Jacquinot here, Walt. He's down along the inside and sort of getting pushed along a bit.
Yeah, well, this is kind of the worry, I guess, too. So it's gone 14 back to 12, now has to do 12 again. But I agree, I think the straight's probably the saviour. But, this was run really quick and they not as if they really slowed down. Sort of back towards the inside's never an easy thing to do either. I think if he had sort of got to the middle and been able to wind up, he probably finishes a touch closer. And it's not as if he went poorly and he wasn't stopping on the line. So it doesn't look like he's a tired horse. What is he, fourth up?
Fourth up.
So, it's not as if he's been over raced. But I just asking, is In Secret, it's weird it's a 35 days. Is he not jumped her out down the straight or anything?
No, he has. She had a pretty quiet jump out down the straight. Wasn't sort of too much of a guide. She sort of sat out the back and didn't do much. So, I wouldn't be reading into it too much.
No, it's a positive anyway, really, because if it was 35 days not seen and hadn't jumped her out, I'd be probably concerned. So,
it doesn't seem like there's been an issue there or anything. It just seems like they've just set her for the race.
Yeah.
It's an interesting one. Buenos Noches has had a jump out. Obviously, it ran really well against Gigi Kick, Coolangatta, the lightning bolt. We haven't seen it since the Friday night. They scratched it from the Valley last week. Grand Impact is a horse that DK might know a lot about. It's got a little picket fence there, price Zara, and there's been a little bit of trickle of money for it. Thoughts on that runner, DK?
Oh, he's a nice horse going forward, of course. Look, you've got Ripper talent, but this is a hot race. Oh, it's a ripping race. So I thought, what's wrong with the Giga Kick form? Like, Giga Kick comes out and wins the Everest, and Bonus not just ran him to a pimple.
Yeah.
So Matthew Smith's good trainer, isn't he?
Well,
good trainer.
He's not okay. We've got to be careful here. Usually, you don't want to find him. The last 2-3 months, he's absolutely airborne. So at the moment, no problem.
Yeah, I'm cheering. Mickey, I found out a mate's got a share in Bonus not just the other day. Mick Edabuttle, so great racing name and family from Victoria.
Mate, I'm on 50s, mate. So just give him your condolences now that he's in a lot of trouble. But
he might be in the right part of the track on 15, but
loves the straight, just finds the line.
Yeah, what's left in the tank's a bit of a query. Economics, Walt?
No,
not at that level.
Oh, I just think the other horse around him in that same spot. So I think Bonus Notches is up against it for mine. 5th run first prepper to be one of the biggest wins in the history of the world, but.
Doing what he did his last 2 runs is huge.
It is, but I just think this is a very, very different high pressure. Like, they're going to fly here.
Yeah.
It hasn't been to 1200. I'm not saying that's a negative. It may be a positive in time. It's just a huge effort from a horse that's not seasoned to win a race like this. And you got horses like Jacquinot closing on you, and I think Best of Bordeaux went huge in the Manicato. Yeah. Sort of sat outside of 10 lengths above speed or whatever it was. Like. I think $16 is a big price. I'm not just saying I think it should be, $8, $9. I'd have In Secret closer to $7, $8 or something like that. I think Jacquinot should be favourite, and Coolangatta 15s. Yeah, I think the market's a little bit wrong, but it's not a great betting race. I think it's a great spectacle, though. I think Jacquinot has to be favourite. Has to be favourite. If it's down the middle, it has to be favourite.
Nico, how big was I thought Lofty Strike was a nice run. How did he go at Caulfield that day, or how did he look in the yard?
Yeah, he looked big in the yard, so you definitely take a lot of improvement from that. I think they've just set him for one race, and I reckon they really trained him to sort of improve with the sort of few weeks between runs. Wouldn't be surprised if he had a few hard gallops or something like that. I thought he was probably a blowout chance. He did beat Jacquinot sort of as a 2-year-old when Jacquinot didn't have a lot of luck. So if you're playing exotics, you could definitely throw him in, but I think we're all sort of on the same page here. Jacquinot, I will say Buenos Noches. I know he came within very close of Gear Kick, but Gear Kick was probably only like 80% fit that day. So I think it was probably a bit flattered.
Yeah.
It was probably a bit flattered, the margin, yeah.
Well, and he was flattered by what it came out and did, I would imagine. And I would say, for this horse to be on the up is unlikely, whereas Giga Kick obviously was on the up. Both those horses are nice horses, Grand Impact and Lofty Strike. Whether this is their race or not, but geez, they're nice. It's a nice horse, Grand Impact. Holy heck, it's so strong.
Yeah, the two absolutely.
Gate 1, worst possible gate, potentially, unless it is fence.
Definitely follow those ones if they don't salute or if they just run a big race here. I think they're going places. And yeah, it was a great training performance. I thought just to get Lofty Strike that close on a heavy track with, as Nico says, improvement. So definitely one to follow. And he could be a sneaky. He's got a lot of ability. So we're all in agreement there to a certain extent. The Victoria Derby is the next one we're going to have a look at. Race 7. It's Berkeley, Barclay, $3.60 favourite. And Sharp and Smart 370, Mr. Maestro 650.
Don't say its name.
Pericles $8. Miramasa 14 for G to Sand 21. Let's roll the dice. Grand Piero, Manzois all around that $21 and $26 mark. Distrustful Roared $31, and that's about the gist of it. We'll have a quick look at Sharp and Smart first. Real workman like Rogie. I tell you what, if you listen and turn up the wireless on 927, you'll hear how big of an opinion Graham Rogerson has about this horse. He had a little track gallop. He's eaten it all up before he walks up to the stand to talk to the media.
He hasn't trained a city winner in 8 months. Now he's talking about opening a satellite stable in Australia. What the hell's going on?
This is far lap, this horse, if you ask.
Mate, you know what it is? It's Walt pulling the tail on the first two, and something had to win. And it's done it to me 2 times in a row, this camel. I'm not, the win was good, right? But that track, for whatever reason, you could sit wide there that day. So I think it's just, just be very careful. Elliptical 100% knocked up there. Had to make a long run, only third up, 2,000. I'm not saying that form was bad. She's Extreme probably should have won. Just be wary of the form. It's a good horse, and I know I've got a little bit of a set against it, but I just think everyone's getting a bit excited that he sat wide, no cover in that race. And whilst it wasn't a bad win by any stretch, I don't think it's the monumental performance everyone else is making out.
I think he's still probably open to improvement, or he seemed to be a run behind. But yeah, it worries me that She's Extreme. Just sort of surging to the line now. I'm a little bit concerned with that form as myself, but let's have a look at Barclay Square and Pericles and Virtuous Circle. Nico, you can chat through this one.
Yeah, Barclay Square, I thought this was a run of a horse probably looking for further. He came off the bit a long way out, sort of hit a bit of a flat spot, and then really just sort of grinds away and wins. The Virtuous Circle, the horse widest, was in the Derby. I'd probably be tipping him, so I think this is probably the right form. I think Pericles has got a bit of a task. So he was on the back up there. He's going to have to back up again and get to 2,400. He may be the best horse to come out of this race, but I just don't know if Saturday will be his day. So, yeah, Berkeley Square is pretty hard to knock. I think he's had one run at Flemington and he absolutely bolted in. So I think that's a big tick getting back to sort of a big track like that. Looks like he's looking for the trip. I found him hard to split. I think Berkeley Square, he paraded probably the best I've seen him last start. Looks like he's really in the zone. It's just whether, how good Sharp and Smart is. Can J-Mac find that extra half length like he can on most of them at the moment to sort of put away a race? He's never really put away a race, this horse, but he's just a line finder. Every single run he's had, he just finds the line. Looks like a stayer. I was probably leaning Sharp and Smart. I think he may be the better stayer, but there's not much between them. I'd be surprised if anything else won. I think if they get the luck, one of them will win.
The big drifter, but the other one is Mr. Maestro. We'll have a look at one of its replays here. And this is actually at Flemington, and it's since come out and won the Caulfield Classic, which might be a bit below par, but seems to like Flemington, this horse, and got a bit of ability, but the market sort of binned him a little bit here, $4 out to $6.50 already.
Yeah, well, he's been the early favourite for this race for a long time. I think since this win. This is a really fast run race. The strength of the form in behind was probably a bit questionable. The horse sort of getting into fifth, won the Geelong Classic there at Geelong, sort of going back 2 weeks or a week and a half ago. So maybe it stood up a little bit. His win in the Caulfield Classic was okay. The barrier looks like it's really going to be the tough ask for him, sort of getting back wide and having to scout the field. But I was happy enough to be against him. I thought he might have a bit of a task ahead of him. Could be the best stayer, though. He looks like a real genuine stayer.
You go.
And here comes, how many words? And here comes, 3 words, Manzois. And here comes Manzois.
There's a couple of there's a couple of funny ones. I thought Pericles. I didn't want to be with it, and I didn't back it, and I was frightened when the money just didn't stop coming for it. That was just unbelievable.
Yeah, I think Nico's on the mark there. I think in 12 months' time, this horse could be anything. I think he may just Animo may come off the door and up goes Pericles, the back of the toilet door. I think this horse could be absolutely anything. I'm in love with him, but far out. How many horses have won? Gone 14, 2,000, 2,400 first prep and won a derby. There'd be very few of them.
Yeah, within 3 weeks too.
And from this stable, it's just so weird. Like it just screams that they must think this horse is just a machine. Because
it's crazy to think that he's in the race.
Just like back Cummings doesn't do this. He just doesn't do this. So
he doesn't do it. But it was Haitotsu. It's all rules went out the door. You can do anything with them if you're a good trainer. And they've got the right horse with the right.
But I agree. Like he was what he did in the AJC derby was crazy as well. But and another pretty reserved trainer that doesn't do crazy stuff. So
I'll keep it simple here. The Vase is the right form. If you really wanted to rate, if you really had a close look, you could rate that race better than the Cox Plate. They went out slower, home quicker. They ran the same time, and I thought Nico was harsh on saying Berkeley Square was grinding away. Look, the sections was fine in the line. So Pericles and Berkeley Square, that for me. Keep it simple, Rod. Keep it simple. That's a terrific rating, Vase. That'll hold him in good stead.
I'm amazed, of all things, that Anthony Cummings didn't run She's Extreme in this race. I cannot believe it's not in the derby. I just lose $1 to back it up in this race. Not here. Probably not with Glenn on it, but yeah.
Yeah, Skifios I was pretty disappointed with last start, but I don't know what's going on with that horse. But I think it's got a good race in it, but I just don't know the Derby's going to be. If you're looking for an absolute knockout, blowout, or something to chuck into placings, he looks a really nice type to my eye, that horse. Let's keep moving along because it's dragging on the show a little bit. Empire Rose is the next one. And
have they done the barrier draw yet, or is it?
Yeah, that's what we spoke about earlier.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah. So there's a little bit of controversy, but everyone knows about that, but they don't know about these.
You should have been able to pick which one you wanted out of the first two and just, load a few into each gate. It would have been more fun that way.
There's lots of different opinions floating around. This has been a big market mover overnight.
240?
What's going on here? Something's collapsed here. It must be a couple of big names.
I have never been tipped a horse more in my life than this horse.
350 this morning. What's going on?
We're going to see why. 310 into 240. Some deductions probably. Lickety Split, $6.50. Nimali, $9. Palisapan, 11. Ice Bath, 15. Belpasur, 18. Kiss on All Four Cheeks, 18. My Whisper. Geez, it just absolutely brained them last start. I tried to find that horse, but the track put me off and it didn't matter. She put a hole in him. $18. Yearning, 20. Daisy's 21. And then you got Kiku and others out around the 20 to 1 mark or more. But Fangirls come out 5-cent deduction and then 9 cents for Hinged. And Le Crick, we're going to have a look at its last start replay over in New Zealand. And she's in the red, up on speed and with the white cap and puts a hole in this field, Nico. Just easy July.
Yeah, this is a dominant win by her. This is probably, I think it's her best rating. She sort of put down over there on some of the rating stuff I sort of saw online. Just puts a gap in them, doesn't she? Absolute hole in them. That turn of foot she has is very good. I think she's probably come back better this preparation. Like, she did start at $1.30 in the New Zealand Derby. Didn't look like she ran 2,400 there. She bolted in the Avondale Guineas, and I think she's come back better this preparation. So I think the second horse she beat there come out and bolted in the Livermore Classic, which is their sort of it's like their Cox Plate. So the form sort of stacked up there. Yeah. In a race, it's very even, these mares. They've sort of been taking turns and all the lead-ups, even the invitation's been even. The sort of Melbourne lead-ups have been very even. You get a horse like this that just comes down here. She's absolutely flying. J-Mac goes aboard. She's third up. Everything's sort of tick, tick, tick. If she replicates that last start, I don't think there's any beating her. It's just whether she sort of rates down, which there could be a chance given she's coming overseas and all that, and she may not be, at 110% like she is in her own backyard, but there's no sort of spoil at the price now. It's sort of 240 with Hinged and Fangirl coming out, but they're probably our two biggest dangers. They're probably the only two horses in the race that had similar figures. I think if she's she's showing up at sort of 90%, 95%. I think she'll just win.
Gets soft 5, 6, perfect track conditions, drawn a good gate, gets J-Mac, hard to make a case against. Belle Placeur, it was a bit of a roughie or exotic horse for me.
I just wrote its name down too, just because, she's lickety split, no. Nimmerly bashed up, no. Ice Bath, no. Palacipan couldn't run a mile if it had a 400-metre head start. Kiss on all 4 cheeks. It's like he just sort of go down, and it was the first horse at sort of 20-1 that looked like it. Soft draw. It certainly was unlucky the other day, just, how strong that race was. But, geez, it's a soft race, isn't it?
Well, that's I'm same similar thought to you, Walt. There's just not many horses that run a strong mile here, and Belle Placeur in the past has got a bit of a push button sort of turn of foot, and it's just on a platter for Le Crick.
Yeah, I'd still rather back Belle Placeur each way at 20s or something. I don't know. There's quite a bit of speed here. Where does he go from 9? Like it's I want to find the 2,000-metre horse.
She probably is the 2,000-metre horse, like off what she did.
Oh, definitely the horse to beat. Don't get me wrong. I just love going looking for things to beat favourites.
Yeah, fair enough. Like if you want to find something to beat her, it's you're going to be finding something at 20. So there's probably a little bit of there's a bit of appeal there, isn't it, to try and get her beat? But I just don't know if this is the horse to try and do that with. Like she just improved so much this preparation in her ratings and already shown a heap of ability. Like she just could be better. They talked about running her in the Cox Plate. Like that's how much an opinion they have. I read a few articles over in New Zealand. Craig Grills, the rider who rode her, said she's one of the best he's ever ridden. He had a very good association with Tiakau. So
who'll win this race?
Yeah, I would imagine she's very good.
If Manzois whips down the outside in the Derby and improves, it's actually not impossible. I'm not joking there. I actually think it's a very good horse. But if it does, and Team Waller's on song, this dirty horse of tissue that we've got beaten in benchmark 70s about 93 times, watch it rattle home as well at 50s in this race. It's a weird rate. Like again, it's a sort of each way. I'm actually not joking. It's a big price at 50s just because more from a place perspective, there's just not much depth to it.
This is a bit of a worry. This race, Nico. Can this thing just start tomato sauce? There'll be odds on this horse. There's every chance it might be.
Oh, J-Mac, but it's New Zealand.
If they just back it off its last start figure relative to the other horses that are coming in, it could start very short. I don't know if they will, given its sort of New Zealand form, and they might sort of rate it down a little. But if you just took the ratings and sort of face value off its last start, it could start very short for sure.
There's just nothing they can back.
No.
Even the 20-1 chance, it's not going to do much to the market, is it? There's nothing they can back around the market other than it.
All right, that's Nico's best of the day, Le Crick, and I tell you, it's going to be a very popular horse. So it'll be just multi madness, and it could be the death of TopSport on Saturday. It could just be the bookie killer late in the day.
Poor old Tristan.
Hey,
poor old Tristan. I wonder if he's back on the bowling alleys yet.
Actually, he sent me a picture of him 10-pin bowling. Started well, finished poor.
Oh God.
So that's one of our next live streams over the summer spring
that's
break.
All we need.
The summer break.
Need some sort of sporting challenge. Get me out of the dungeon.
Yeah, outstanding stuff there, Nico. Can't wait for Flemington. As I said, get his Manny Mail, absolute beauty there, and he's a punting form disciple, just like myself. And you can use their sectional data and their benchmarks for the post race, as DK alluded to, for the Cox Plate, and you can stack up all the form there. So make sure you check out puntingform.com.au. Absolutely airborne, those boys. Walt, we're going to talk about Rosehill. Going to be an absolute beauty, and enough sooking. You finally got a dry track. Surface. How's it feel to do dry track?
You know what's going to happen? Somebody will leave the sprinklers on. They haven't turned the sprinklers on since February last year, and someone will get it stuck on bloody full tilt or something, and we'll still get an 8. But dry track, big fields, Jesus. Anyway, where are we starting?
Mars Mission's a favourite here in the Little Birdie app, benchmark 78. It's a $2.60 favourite here. Mars Mission in from 310, winning verse 380. Monty Ditto is $9.50. Classy JB, $11. Delexio 13. Capital Reigns 16, and that's where I'll pull up here. But the replay you're going to have a look at here is winning verse in the yellow with the purple, just sitting outside the leader here, and only gets run down late.
I only wanted to put this up really because it was the last winner I backed, but I just wanted to build my confidence, and that was why I wanted to see the replay. But this horse is a bit of an underrated horse. I think when was it? Went down to Melbourne and bolted up a race down there last prep. Just very underrated type. Hard to sit outside leader first up like this horse did and kick on so strongly. certainly wasn't stopping. Like you can see, it was green, if anything, there. And, it took a decent horse that was well set up to beat it that day. I think it draws to sort of roll forward. There is potential for good speed here, which would suit the favourites. I'm hoping they just don't overdo it and this horse sort of settles in the first 3 or 4. I think it certainly should be favourite. Mars Mission, there was just relentless money for it first up.
First up, yeah.
It was relentless money with Zach Lloyd and it ran well. But, I just don't – someone seems to be in love with this horse for whatever reason. And, I'm certainly not discounting it as a good chance on Saturday, but I just think probably the betting's the wrong way around between it and winning Verse. And I'm hoping Zach gets sort of lost on the inside here on Mars Mission in what should be a fast run race. I can see there's going to be horses around it on the inside that are going to cause problems for it. From a strength perspective, he's going to need to ride this horse really well. I think he's riding winners, but I'm sort of taking him on at the moment, Zach. I think he's I want to use a word I think he needs to build his strength up. I think he really, is, a little bit overwhelmed by strong horses. So he's a jockey I'm sort of taking on at the moment, hoping Tim just bounced him out. He's stuck in there till Christmas and winning Verse is off and gone.
Mm.
There is a horse here that's really weird in Classy JB. Won a race, hasn't been seen for a while, but Gate 1 Willie, I'm hoping it sort of takes care of itself as well. But it's the only horse I'm really scared about, Classy JB.
Okay. All right, so taking on horse and rider there. That's why we love you, Walt.
Mm.
Wow, this is it. The controversial race, the Golden Eagle, $10 million with the field of 20 now, and that's Light Infantry, the favourite here, $4.80, as much as $6.50 bet there in the week, $4.20 now. Chain of Lightning, $4.80, in from $10. I Wish I Win, 6 out to $10. In the Congo, 10, Hinge $12, Gypsy Goddess $17, Valana $17, Fangirl $18, Mr. Mozart $18, Well Wall controversial horse $18, Francesco Dettori, and Overpass $21, Cardinal Gem, good on your biggie $26, Hope in Your Heart $31, Kiss Some probably not going to make the field $31, and then one of Nico's horses, Pinstripes there at $31, Walt's horse Converge $41. And then the rest of them will give a bit of a buy to. But all right, now we're going to have a look at Light Infantry, the hot pot favourite here. It's the blue and green with the big white face there on 3 from the outside. And he actually ends up being the widest or the runner closest to the fence and closest to us. And the horse that beat him that day is Inspiral, which is one of the best or one of the leading fillies over in Europe at the time. But this is a Group 1 in France. And he doesn't shirt the task and really tries to motor and run down this horse. So obviously none of us are French form experts, but the mile form in Europe should stack up, and it's been glowing reports from Kieran Maher. Since
what do you do with it? I just don't know what to do with it. I just don't know how that translates, and it's nothing to do with the horse. The horse is obviously strong, got ability, but how do you place that horse in that was how many? 8 horses in a 57,000 wide straight race.
Mm.
Now you're sending him to Rosehill with 20 runners.
Field plus. You got Jamie Spencer, who whatever, a great jockey, but I'm not putting him on a horse around Rosehill. Where's this horse get to in the run? It's going to be a very ugly race, as in horses going everywhere. Like Jacquinot's winning the Rose, for argument's sake, was a horse that, a very special win, something you don't see that often at Rosehill. This horse is going to have to put up some sort of performance like that, find, the gaps when it needs it in 20 horse field. It's just scary.
It's scary. I just don't know I literally wouldn't have a clue how that horse is going to handle the circumstances here.
Let's have a look at the lead up, the Silver Eagle with Valana. And obviously we've made mention about this before. It's a little bit odd that it's at Randwick, but good win here, Valana, but now draws 24. You got Nash.
Great ride this day, right? But it was first up, and what it did to these horses was pretty dominant, really dominant. This horse has always shown that she's capable of becoming very top class, and it looks like she's certainly come back in as good a form as she ever has been.
What?
She, isn't it? Isn't
Valana?
Isn't it a mare?
Horse.
Isn't it? Is it at a trans?
It's
change
a
it. Oh, I thought it was me. Anyway, beautiful. It's a good looking bloke. Yeah, from 23, I want to find that horse. That's the horse I want to find in the race. Nash is not at his best, that race aside. And from where the hell does this horse get from 23? I just think it is the hardest race I've ever seen in my life, and I'm going to cheer for Wellwall so hard. It's insane just for the absolute carnage and mayhem that's going to happen. Mate, you will struggle to find a harder race than this in your life just because of the way everything sets up. It's an afterthought for half the horses. You got horses second up. You got light infantry in there. You got Overpass coming off, 1,200 metre runs. You got Mr. Mozart off an average run, Hinged off, 3 different grand finals. I Wish I Win. I'm assuming this is close to the grand final for it. Like obviously last start it was short price favourite in a big race, but what does it do?
He hit the line super. Like I went back through the tapes and just trying to look for holes in the market, see where Converge, how he finished off. But I can't see a horse like Converge beating I Wish I Win home. I thought $10 I Wish I Win's a great each way play.
And then it's only going fair. Chain of Lightning's second favourites, drawn inside. Tough.
Gypsy Goddess is in there first up.
Where's an angle? I don't know what the angle is. Gypsy Goddess. There's another question mark. Hope in Your Heart, absolutely flying way up in grade. Converge, like you say, at his best, can do anything. First time he sees an absolute dry deck this time in, but like impossible to find him with any confidence. Pinstripe flying, where does it get to? Who knows?
The man to ask is DK.
Heck. DK
he's mates with
someone
Aussie.
Help me, Christ.
He knows Aussie. His kid plays in the same footy team as Aussie. It's light infantry. Aussie owns light infantry.
It's a machine. The thing's a machine. Right. Do you hear the story about it?
Nah. Tell us.
You didn't? All right, so they rang up trying to buy it, and they said, not for sale. Can't help you. So then they rang back and said, no, we really want to buy it, and got Aussie and the big meat bloke from Geelong, Cole McKenna. So we've got plenty of cash. No, it's still not for sale, but if you really, really want it, get creative. So went back again. Anyway, they did a deal. They bought half of it for, I'm thinking, around $5 million or $6 million for half. Stays here for one run, going in for the one run, part of the deal, goes back for 12 months over there, runs at Royal Ascot, runs in all the carnivals and that over there, then comes back here and posies up with Kieran Mars. So hoping it wins on Saturday to get what they outlaid back, if they can, then they've got a horse to play with and it's paid for itself. But no, they were definitely targeting a horse for that race to try and buy it. And he said, we're buying one for the Golden Eagle, and this is it.
How long's it been out here, roughly?
Not a month or something?
Yeah, about a month, 3 weeks, I think.
Because his last win, it was August 14th in France. Or, sorry, the replay that we showed. Second to the best filly in Europe, allegedly.
Yeah, I would have, seeing some figures on him in that, if he had to come out here for, the Cox Plate, Noel Bogadon was starting second or third favourite. This would have started second favourite in the Cox Plate off the sort of figures he's put up there overseas. If he replicates what he did last start, sort of figures-wise, he's going to be... He'd win most Group 1s in Australia if he did that. It's just whether you want to back him on Saturday. Like Bolt said, he's got a tricky map. Where's he going to get to in the run? I have no doubt he's probably the best horse in the race, but that doesn't always mean you win the race, does it? So it's a few horses there that looks at the peak. I think Fangirl, sort of, if she drew a better barrier, would be right in the game back onto a dry track. I'd be interested to see what she does from a maybe exotics point of view if you're playing that way. But everything you kind of hear and sort of look at, the more you dig into light infantry, if he's anywhere near his best, he should probably just win. And
if it was even if it was Randwick, you'd just be like, well, he's going to find room at some time to move. And like as you say, he's not 6-4. If he was 6-4, I'd 100% be taking him on whatever he is, 450-ish. Like you say, it's probably it's worthwhile making a decision one way or the other, because that's right. If he brings his form, he gets every chance in the run or close enough to, $4.50 is fair enough.
The market will tell the story.
If some of the robots out there could mark him 6-4 of his figures, like
no doubt,
that would be definitely something they could do off the how good he's going.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think they 100% will.
So it's going to keep going off.
Well, it's a bit similar to that other. It just, those guys who don't play off field too much and just run off numbers are going to have this horse very short.
Despite what you saw in the Cox Plate, I don't know if the punting form data is 100% correct for Europe. It's always spot on for Australia and Singapore and Hong Kong. But I thought I read that Spencer's got a 24% strike rate. So he's had a mare on Gold Trip, but he's a very, very good rider when the conditions suit. But as you say, the big field's the question mark. But
and it's just a track that he hasn't ridden too often. It's a little bit tricky. Like especially when it's dry, it's hard to sort of come wide in the circle. And maybe this horse has got enough on him to do it, but you sort of want to cut under him, find a gap, and sort of build in the straight around here, ideally. And with 20 horses around you, that's not going to be easy. So it's just a bit of a nightmare race. You just be wary, but I'm not going to talk anyone out of backing it. That's for sure. At the price it is.
Well, it's going to be interesting to see what happens. But if you want Walt's assessments to the final minutes and to the death, make sure you check out racingwatch.com.au. He's Masters Punter 2022 winner, which is a prestigious title. He'll get presented with the jacket over in Augusta, similar to the fanfare after the winner of Augusta. You know what the weirdest thing is about Augusta? When they present the jacket and how awkward it is in the room after the golf with the past winner. And there's like there's four people in there.
Yeah.
How weird's that?
And you see the amateur guy there and
it's
whatever.
So bizarre.
Sitting there for 5 hours.
Maybe I should present you the jacket with just us two here and just do it there.
Oh, yeah. Awesome. You just cover me in the green screen you've got behind you. You just that'll do. That'll do. Holy heck.
Time for Donny's best.
G'day, boys. Donny's best again this weekend. It was good to get the double collect last week. Let's try and do it again this week. I'm pretty keen on one this week at Eagle Farm. It comes up in race 5, number 4, Mix from the lead Freedman stable. First up and second up, this preparation has been checked and held up in the straight at crucial times. It's gone 1,000 metres, 1,200 metres. The step up to 14 is absolutely ideal. It's got a positive jockey change with Boris Thornton going on. The wide alley is going to be difficult. If they decide to pull the trigger and roll forward, it's led in one before. I think it's going to be mighty hard to beat. And the $16 to win and $4.40 a place with TopSport is an enormous price. So I'll be making that an absolute massive result. So pretty keen on that one. And go to race 1, the 2-year-old, the Mashani handicap. Les Ross has got 11 of the 14 runners. The Queensland Tierra form is awful. Happy to look elsewhere. And I think the 2 Sydney horses, Room for Squares and Tabata Set, will beat them if they can get a run. Hopefully only one of them turns up. You can't back early with the percentages at the moment. So we'll wait till game day and back one of those. So, but the main bet, Eagle Farm, race 5, number 4, Mix, each way all day. Merry Christmas, boys. It's an absolute doozy. Good luck.
Outstanding stuff with Donny. And I think Mix is a dual nominations there. So if it does...
And so's the favourite in that race. Ang Pow's in Sydney as well, so just be careful.
Very, very, very scary there. But Mix is going to run, if not Saturday, it's on for Melbourne Cup Day. So horse that's absolutely flying, and interesting to see what the Freedman camp do with that runner. And as he said, the Mashani race in the first race is a bit tricky because you got the Sydney horses have come up pretty short, 330, 225. There's 190% on the board, and then
I've never seen anything like it. 155, 250, $3, $350, $10, and there's still 10 runners to go. My God.
It's going to be interesting to see if all the Mashani, surely they just keep them in the field and just plonk them around.
Just to upset everyone.
We just wouldn't let the Sydney horses get a whiff.
Why would you
let him in?
And Les Ross is not really one to scratch one, so it's going to cost him how many? 1, 2, 3. How many runners has he got? 14 has he got of his own, or 13 or something? Well, no, there's one Buttons horse there.
The Buttons horse, Terrell and T Button.
Mate, it's going to cost him about $4,000 to float him there. Unbelievable. Unbelievable.
Outstanding. Go the Mashani. So hopefully, be interested to see if a Sydney trainer can get to someone else. Are you allowed to do that? Tell a trainer to scratch? What's the official ruling there, Walt?
Don't think it's advised. Don't think that's officially a good thing to be doing.
That's happened in the past, though, hasn't it? Surely.
Don't know. Wouldn't know. No. I don't think it's. I don't think that's allowed.
Okay.
No, I don't think that's allowed.
Forget I ever said it.
Yes.
TopSport Big Bets. As I said, on fire last week. Finally, Flemington race 2, Macram, $2,000 at 6. Horse definitely going okay. Hit the line all right at Geelong. Do you want the bet, Nico?
He's super consistent. I'd be worried 2,500. I think he's at his limit 24, so even up at 100 metres and trip. I don't know. I think he might be a 2,000 metre horse. That's my read on him.
The next one's interesting. 5-7 Churath, 1,000 at $6. Good winner at Geelong. drops in weight here. DK, you're a bit of a radio listener. I heard that some of Maddie's horses were up to their knees in water. I don't know if it was her stables or a spelling facility, but that would be the query over this runner. Have you heard anything about Maddie Raymond's property going underwater in the floods?
No, I haven't, but it wouldn't surprise me. So I know a lot of trainers are struggling with being behind in their work, missing gallops, course proper gallops. Horses that should have gone out are still in the stable and they can't bring other horses in because everything's behind because of the weather. So it's just knock-on effect really, and from this, and it's not going to change the next 10 days. I know that.
This horse is like flashing light 1,400. Is it still $6?
Probably not, but I think
they took the overs there.
Oh my goodness, yeah, that all like it was just screaming 1,400 Flemington. That last win was a bloody good win.
Yeah, good win that. But I've heard that it might be dual nominated, maybe Safer Cup Day as well in the mares race. So a little bit of an asterisk there. Also, race 6 is Buenos Noches, 1,000 at 750. So that could be one of DK's tickets or his punters club. And then the other one is race 7, number 1, Sharp and Smart, 1,700 at $3.90 here. So that's,
I think you'll get better than 750 Buenos Noches.
Buenos Noches,
I
yeah,
think you'll get better than that. I don't know about Sharp and Smart.
Sharp and Smart, yeah, we give that a chance. So that's Derby Day. Can't wait. And obviously we're going to do a Melbourne Cup preview show as we always do on Sunday. So I get to hear Walt whinge about getting him down the highway again.
Can we do mine now?
What's that?
I'll just do my whole preview. Night's order, night's order, night's order, night's order. It's all the first 8, second 8, third 8, fourth 8. That's it.
Timmy. It's Timmy's to lose. You just got to rate it right.
How is it $26? Whatever the heck it is. I just don't get it.
Save it for the show.
I'm not saving it for the show. I'm just getting excited. You got to build you got to build. It's like 6 days away. It gives people more chance to multi up the $26 so they can collect.
I've heard there's the Gaze import might go right too.
Yeah. No. Night's order. Be told.
Nico, you're excited?
Yeah, it's going to be a big week, Cup week, isn't it? Hopefully off the crutches by Sunday. That'd be a result here, but we'll be battling away. That's for sure. It's going to be a long week for me, but hopefully we can find a few winners for the punters. It's going to be all focused on finding a few winners. It's going to be tough, but ready for the challenge.
DK's put a few people in crutches over the years, the enforcer, but he's never. I don't think he's ever used any.
DK Gimlet Saturday night. A few reds Saturday night. Just don't play up Saturday night, please. I know you've been a man on the town.
I've got a 50th on. I'm going to blow myself up. kids are away for the night.
Just sleep in the office, mate. Just sleep in the office.
Yeah. I'll have it well and truly done by then. Saturday Arvo. He said, a race full of internationals. How exciting!
Geez, that guy's Twitter thing was very good. That Twitter feed of the international horses. What is it? Rory Flanagan. Very good. Very good. We'll
retweet it at Little Birdie TV if you want to look at all the replays of the major chances of the internationals. So it's a nice quick guide. You can just scroll through and look at all the replays, and he's got his assessment. So he, I don't know, he's a bit like Walt doesn't sleep. Vampire does UK form. So not sure he get into that if you're based in Melbourne, but good luck to him, and it's a nice little resource. So we'll tweet that one out, but we'll do our best to go through runner by runner for the Cup and try and find a couple of best bets for Tuesday also. So we'll do a Sunday show, and that'll be out Sunday afternoon. So can't wait. It's going to be a massive week. Get around the boys, head to Racing Watch, get in a little bit of shot for DK and Nico, and importantly, get around me and Donnie. We're going to absolutely tear strips off Tristan. It's going to be beautiful.
400% turnover. I want you turning that bank over 4 times.
We'll be trying. All right. Have a great week, Cup week, and we'll see you Sunday.